just looking at the title and poster, I honestly feared the worst. I'm talking Ben 10 levels of treatment of going from this to this. With no plot and no characters, and most of all taking a big fat dump on a 38-year-old franchise. I'm talking first comic in 1984, followed by animated series ×4, alongside a live action series.
Oh my god, what the fuck is that, bro?
Countless video games, and all while having up to 6 featured films, of which 2 were produced by Michael Bay. And now this run shows up in 2022 with the title Rise of TNMT. Come on, man, how much you want to rise to the space? This was all before watching the movie, and after that, it was beautiful. That animation, oh sweet mama, it is a banger. I honestly thought I started watching an anime, as that's how good the animation is, with all those flow lines and fight scenes that could be more perfect. But enough of that. As you originally know, TNMT was about 4 turtles named Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael, and Donatello. They mutated due to some weird experiment taken in by a rat and trained in martial arts to defend the world from all sorts of horrible dirtbags and their schemes for destruction. It resulted in a nice show, as each character had a unique style to them, which was immensely helped by the weapon of choice and color of bandana. All of this honestly reminded me a lot about Power Rangers, where each one had a different power and personality, but only through training and teamwork could they defeat the new villain that decided to show up this week. Oh, and the villains were awesome. I specifically went back to the fandom, and in order to find the total number for an estimate, just Ctrl F and A. Then took an educated guess of 250 plus villains. And they are all well designed. I mean, here is the classic Shredder, one of the most iconic villains, who is head of the Foot Clan, and eternal nemesis of TNMT and their Shifu. It is written that in every incarnation of Turtle Team, the Shredder exists to challenge them, whether he be depicted as a human, mutant, alien, robot, zombie, or demon. But let's take a more unknown villain like Spider-Bits, who is just a minor antagonist, who took a video of the turtle and tried to make a few bucks off of it online. He was later mutated into a giant spider during a battle between the Krang and the turtles, causing him to seek vengeance. And that, my friends, is development for someone who was supposed to be just a grunt. But now, we are talking about the villain of this movie, and it's good old Krang, an OG antagonist with 7 iterations, all of them usually being along the lines of him being an alien warlord who seeks to conquer Earth, like he did to many other planets. And this is his original design. In the movie, however, Netflix does give him a beautiful makeover, making his base form look like this, and him in a suit. And this is me fanboying over him. But now we step into the spoiler territory. For further convincing of my not so hidden agenda, so consider yourself warned and venture carefully, as trespassers will be persecuted. The movie starts off in the future, where weird mechanical amalgamations run amok and wreak havoc, while chasing down the protagonists of this movie, whose names I have forgotten even after googling him. So we call him Jack. Apparently only 2 turtles are left, Leonardo and Michael, who have a weird, mystical set of powers, and they sacrifice themselves to send Jack back into the past to stop the invasion of Krang from happening in the first place. In the present, we are quite cleverly introduced to a plot point and April, usually the human helping hand, who is the point of contention in this movie that we'll talk about later. But then we cut to the turtles goofing around eating pizza. Side note, This movie made me very hungry, and so I ordered a mystery meal to accompany me on my first watch, which happens to be a mystery meal. Anyway, a few things have become apparent here. The turtles have superpowers. Raphael has Susano without bleeding eyes. Leonardo has basic portal gun powers. And Donatello is Iron Man. Michael is Kurapika, but just not depressed enough. Altogether, they have a bad sense of teamwork, due to Leonardo being a problem with his massive ego and amazing levels of ignorance, getting in the way of an important retrieval mission, allowing the invasion of Krang to begin. This is further emphasized when Raphael has to sacrifice himself to save him, and his plan is to blindly rush the powerful antagonist that just kicked his ass. Oh, and they also have their mystical powers sealed. They obviously walk into a trap, which makes me very annoyed with the main character having issues but being leader at the end cliche, but the plot was moving forward at a rapid pace, with new characters who were mildly interesting and animation quality being over 9,000. So I stayed tuned and it paid off. But before we go to the intermission, I have to say that pacing-wise, this is top-notch speed, while not being confusing. And I'm honestly surprised by it, because it has, and let's do a mini recap, grim future scenario, new character introduction, the team intro alongside with a small-time villain confrontation, big-time villain turnout, exposition point and meeting past characters, Krang Fight 1, where they got their ass handed to them, Kang's prep invasion, and then the third and final part, which is all covered in an 80-minute movie. The third part being seeing the invasion of Krang in progress and trying our best to stopping it, eventually stopping it. Surprise everyone, the world was not destroyed by a red ray of light. Boo-hoo! Anyway, everyone has to do their parts in the last 24 minutes. Brutal and beautiful segments that I can only show pics of. But trust me, it's mind-overtaking. Unfortunately, there is a big problem with this movie. A huge and detrimental issue, and that's April, apparently. An OG white woman who is now, So the only solution is to review bomb the movie, apparently. And I am so mad at this because it does everything right. It is beautiful. Featured films can suck my... But apparently we can't handle this change. Okay, I don't understand the need to make this character change. Yes, I agree, but I also don't care about it if it happens. It never bothered me or led to a negative watch experience where the female character of a new color always uses her identity as part of her dialogues or anything. It never led to any problems, and I don't understand the need to review bomb it. It makes no sense. To people who legit aren't racist, for those we have a beautiful platform to go to, don't be afraid because of the change, as it doesn't impact the film or story in any way, shape or form. Relax, trust me, and form your own opinions after watching this beautiful masterpiece. Because when I watched it, there weren't any reviews in yet. I watched no trailers, I just went in blindly. A bit disappointed by the title and poster, but genuinely had a good time, and hope you do too. If you still didn't enjoy the movie, then tell me why in the comment section below. Or if you did, then also chime in, support this video, and maybe even consider subscribing. But that will be all. So have a good day and
wake up to reality.